So what do you think was the difference in the second half? Was it TCU or you guys and how things turned around?
That's a hard one. I just think the story of the game. Well, here's what I felt like. I felt like our guys competed great. I thought we had tremendous effort, tremendous energy, intensity, focus, attention to detail. I thought it was all great. The reason we lost the game is we shoot 24% the second half, and you know what? As a coach, I'm never going to fault that unless guys are just playing selfish, which I didn't think we did at all. I thought we had some really, really good shots that didn't go in, and I thought there were periods when defensively TCU did a great job, and we had some stretches where we were having a hard time getting a good shot. So you got to give them credit. I mean, you have to give them credit for that. But that was the story. That was the story of the game. Is we offensively, as hard as we were trying. I mean, how can you not love a team that got 20 rebounds, offensive rebounds on 39 chances to get them back? That's over 50% of your misses you get back. That's good. Gosh, as a coach, there's nothing you could ever hope for, effort-wise, more than that. And defensively, we were great first half. You know, Fisher hit some big threes the second half. Give him a lot of credit. You know, he's coming back from injury, and he certainly played with a lot of confidence. But you can't say they didn't play a very good defensive half. But at the same time, I thought we did have some opportunities that we couldn't cash in.
Was Fisher's shooting in the second half a result of simply him getting hot, or did the defense change in a way that allowed him different looks?
Well, you know, they're a hard team to guard. Look at their numbers. Look at their, you know, nationally, look at some of the numbers look at their three-point percentages and how many guys coming into this game. I want to say 36% was the worst three-point shooter of the four perimeter players. Well, and then 5 if you bring Noy into it. So they stretch a floor pretty darn good, and Robinson is a great point guard this year. Great, he's playing better than I've ever seen him. Look at his assists; he's one of the top assist guys in the country. So it's not a simple task getting all the fires put out, and I thought we did for the most part one heck of a job. Fisher hit a few tough shots, and a couple times you're going to break down. That's going to happen in, you know, a major college game of this level. You can't be perfect, but they did play an outstanding second half. They did, and our effort was great. We just couldn't get the ball in the basket for the second half.
Ron Hunt has a little bit of history with TCU. What did you see out of him tonight?
He was tremendous. He was absolutely tremendous. Continues to get better. I think he's got just an outstanding future. What I love about him most is how passionate he is about the game, how passionate he is, how much he loves basketball, how passionate he is to be a great player. It would surprise you maybe that everyone's not that way, that is on college scholarships. At least that's been my experience over years and years. Everyone is not cut in exactly the same way. He's cut in at a very, very high level. He wants it really badly. He's also blessed with great athletic ability, and I thought he did not look at all like a freshman tonight. He was a great player in that game tonight.
Tim, where is this team right now after 10 games? You guys are 6-4. What do you see down the road?
Well, I've said this before we ever started the season. We're still behind. You know, we're not where I've never coached a team in December that is this far behind in just some habits and a lot of things. I mean, it's like I say this every single time, but it's the truth. We are not where I've ever coached a team or been around to the point you would usually be to this point, and we're to this point. And it's I don't believe it's anybody's fault. It's the fault that we have not had enough guys a lot of days to practice 5-on-5. You know, we have 30 days before we start the season that they allow you to practice, and I think we probably had 8 of those days playing 5-on-5, and that's, you cannot advance, particularly when you have 4 guys returning, I think we have. We have 4 guys returning because of probation and injuries and guys going pro. And so I knew this a month ago, but we are gaining on it. And that's the very best we can do is with the situation that we're presented with. Obviously, Jure and Everett have been out since January. Jure's just coming back. Everett's still not practicing. The scholarships that have been still taken away from us. And then, of course, other guys get dinged up, and we went to practice 20 days with 7 guys, Even our walk-ons are hurt, believe it or not. Really, I'm not kidding. I can't even make this up. We've got walk-ons that are hurt. So we're behind. But lately we're gaining. We are gaining. But so is everybody else. Everybody else is having practice too, and you don't want to start behind because you got to expedite. It's not going to be easy, but I have optimism for this team. Tonight gave me more, even though we had a rough shooting night for 20 minutes, but the effort was great, and I think you have to start there. You have to start with effort, toughness, togetherness. All those kind of things have to be present to sustain a season and to improve and to become a good team or a great team or an outstanding team. Those things have to be there, and I think we are at least gaining on that and starting to get an understanding of how hard you have to play and how much attention to detail you have to pay. At the same time, you have to build habits, and you can only build habits through day after day after day after day, the same kinds of practice. You don't get it, once every 4 days and watching film. So that's our challenge, and it's the one, we're embracing, and I'm still optimistic we could be a very, very good team.
Coach, from your vantage point, what have you seen about the job Jamie Dixon has done over at TCU in his now third season?
He's doing an outstanding job, yeah, for sure. I mean, they're a very good team, and they were a good team last year, so, he should feel very good about it.
How much do you look at what they've done over at TCU and the 2 programs in the last 2 years and assess where you guys are at and how you get back to?
Yeah, well, I think, I think the big thing that people have completely forgotten is we're on probation. We've had the most scholarships ever taken away. I don't believe TCU is on probation. Am I correct? Right. They're not on probation, and we are on probation, and we've been on probation the entire time I've been here, which is, again, the most scholarships ever taken away from a college basketball team, ever. And somehow, I guess we'll be judged as if everything is hunky-dory. Like you guys we forgot that a couple of years ago was postseason ban, but we still live it every day. We live it. I think I've coached 70 or 80 games here, and I think 45 of them we've coached with 7 scholarship players or less. Now think about that. That's our reality. So I know that as a coach, we are judged, we are, always, but I don't think people even have an idea of what we are up against on a daily basis. So, I mean, do you know all our do you know the sanctions? Do you know our sanctions? You do?
For the most part.
Yeah. So that's what we've, weeks at a time where we couldn't recruit, 7 weeks at a time we have to go dark 2 years in a row. And so this is what the public doesn't know, and this is what we live. And it's very frustrating to me. I live it every day, and I'm proud of the fact that we've done as well as we have. If you look at history of teams that are on probation, I don't think most of the times they do as well as we have. So I'm looking forward to a day when we're a normal program that has normal scholarships and a normal chance to recruit without 15 different rules, sanctions, scholarship reductions that we have to live with. That's the day I'm really looking forward to. So I don't know how you can compare us to anybody else except other programs that are living with the probation that we have.
Jamal with 22 shots, did you feel like you guys were over-relying on him for offense?
Probably, but he's a heck of an offensive player, and some games 1 guy, some games 5 guys. I don't know if we were over-relying on him. His percentages were pretty good. Didn't hit so much from 3, but You know, maybe we could say that, but we just, you know, we didn't do a good job of getting in flow. We got great shots the first half. And some of those the second half just missed, but not as many, so that's a hard question. I'd have to watch the film on that to see what was going on with that.
When Jamal and Jalen Fisher started talking toward the end of the game, did you worry at all about them getting sort of drawn into more of a one-on-one game and maybe getting out of the system at all?
No. I thought it was great that it really got the crowd involved. I thought that was a real positive. I don't usually like, guys doing that because normally it ends up in a technical foul, and I don't think those are good. But the crowd seemed to like it. But with Jamal, I've seen him, no is the answer, because I've seen Jamal, sometimes when you get him in that mode, he can just hit some incredible shots. So honestly, I wasn't at that moment.
Anything else?
It seems like when the team is scoring good at Jamal, are you kind of worried about like maybe a lack of a secondary option?
Well, I think, if you look at our season so far, Ethan's had some big games, Isaiah's had some big games, Jimmy's had some big games, and Jeray Foster is an outstanding player, but I think it's pretty, let's be fair to him. The guy's been out 10 months. He is not, and I'm so proud of him. He's done he's playing better than I could have expected. He hasn't played basketball for 10 months. He's been rehabbing hours and hours and hours and hours. And he's obviously still not, he's not all the way back, in the physical sense. And of course, it takes time to get all your rhythm and your game back. But that's one thing I'm really optimistic about. I know he'll keep climbing. And so if and when Jeray becomes his normal self, now you've got a lot of different guys on a given night that, can score the ball, and hopefully that's going to be the case. It needs to be the case. It darn well needs to be the case, and I think it will be. I have faith that we can keep growing everyone, and I know Jeray will just continue to get better and better, because I don't think he's close to the player that who he really is what I'm trying to say.